advisory board at UNC Chapel Hill. Just want to I want people to know and hear your story and kind of get to know you a little bit more. So can you tell us who you are and what was your experience with being cured of HIV?
Well, I'm Franke, and I'm also known as the Dusseldorf Patient, one of the 7 cured of HIV. And well, you have to know that curing HIV was only a side effect of curing cancer. And I needed a stem cell transplant, and my donor had a special gene variant, and there the virus can't lock on, and this was the clue that it worked to cure me.
Yeah, so I think that's really important for people to know, because a lot of people ask, there's more than almost 40 million people living with HIV in the world, why can't everybody be cured? And a big part of that is because you had both cancer and HIV, is that right?
And you have to know this gene variant is only 1% in the Caucasian population, so at this time it doesn't work for other people. But I met so many scientists, and they are trying to recreate the stem cell transplant via gene things or other things with antibodies, T-CAR cells. There's so much research on it, and I really think I will, in my life, it will happen that we can cure HIV.
I love the optimism. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of research happening at UNC Chapel Hill. There's multiple collaboratories that are, research institutions across the world that are working together, sharing science, and trying to better understand what are the ways that we can cure HIV without the extensive process that you went through.
I can't recommend this rocky road.
Yeah.
You will learn later what happened in the years after the transplant, and why it took so long for my doctors to decide now it's the right point to stop the HIV medication.
How did that make you feel when they suggested for you to stop taking your medication?
Well, I waited for years, so it wasn't a special day for me, and I 100% trusted my doctors that we had done so many tests with labs all over the world, and it's interesting if you meet scientists and they say, oh, we have parts of your body in our refrigerator.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so you're contributing to the
and
science.
they are very happy to know me as a person and not the number I was in the database.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned that there's a genetic mutation that is 1% of the European population, and when we're thinking about HIV cure research data, I think also we're here at Shaw University. It's a historically black college and university. Majority of people living with HIV are of African descent, and so that's something that it makes me think about. It's really important for us to have diversity in the research that we do, so that we can identify potentially other genetic variants or other mechanisms that can lead us to curing HIV in a diverse population.
This will be possible for a diverse population. You only need to change your stem cells with this gene variant, but the stem cell donor has to be a match in the HLA, what's it called? So the matches are for this gene variant are only at this time only in the European population, but we have the case with a New York patient who got a hybrid of 2 stem cell donations, and so they managed to cure I think she's Latino, so it's possible.
Yeah.
But with more Anstrengung, efforts.
More efforts. Yeah, more research for
Yeah.
sure. We also, I know
And
also.
blood core is more common in the US than in Europe.
Okay.
So perhaps this will work in the future.
Yeah, so just for people who aren't aware, stem cells come from bone marrow transplants. And bone marrow, you know, we also have a shortage of bone marrow donations from people of African descent, which is another reason why we need to increase the diversity of people in science and contributing to science.
I would love to tell it stem cell transplant because possible donors might be afraid of bone marrow transplant, and they think about a needle in their back. In more than 90% of the transplant, it's only done by the blood, and so it's a better procedure for the donor. So,
yeah. So who are you as a person? Like beyond just this status, or lack of status, I guess now. Who are you as a person?
well, I'm 55 years old now. I had my teenage years when the big crisis came out, so I had a late coming out because I was frightened. And I met my husband in hospital. Now we are married. We built a house. We have a dog, and we live a normal life.
What's your dog's name?
Motte, the German name for moth, because she's so flattering.
Okay, I love it. Is there anything that you would like to say to people living with HIV as a kind of moment of inspiration?
I can everyone encourage, look for groups where you have a safe space that you can talk about it. I know that there is a stigma, and there's a big self-stigma that people are frightened to go out with their status, but I can encourage everyone try to say it, and if the more people that are saying I'm living with HIV, the more normal it will be, and I hope that we can get rid of the stigma, because that's the worst when you are living with HIV. Taking the pills is you can live with it, but the stigma and the self-stigma, that makes you sick.
Yeah.
And I hope that we can leave the stigma behind us. For me, it would be great to get rid of the four-letter word, because when this is said, the people mix it up, HIV and AIDS, and put it in one pot. And if you say AIDS, the pictures from the 80s come up immediately, and I hope that we can get rid of them. And well, the best thing would be a cure to get rid of the HIV stigma.
Yeah, I also think about ways that we can try to communicate to people who are not living with HIV and why they should care. And I think about my mom, who actually her stem cell birthday was, she just had a year, December 6th. She had a stem cell transplant, and that is a perfect example. She had a liver condition, but the science that came out of HIV research and cancer research are very highly, they're very closely connected, and people think that HIV has nothing to do with them, but it actually does impact them in their world and their lives. And
and you have to know, because of the HIV and cancer research, the scientists found a way to have the vaccination for COVID. So this is also very good.
COVID vaccinations, and then also now they're using stem cell transplants for cures for sickle cell anemia and diabetes. So it really is making a huge difference in this world. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that this is an inspiration to so many people around the world.
And tell everyone about U equals U in PrEP, because many people don't know, and this is really a game changer. And think about that more than 50% of all people living with HIV are women worldwide.
And I'm going to ask one question before you go. How important is it to have events like this, where we give out the information, we have these conversations? How important to you is it that we continue to have these kind of events where we spread information and kind of like give community? How important is that?
Yeah, the genesis behind HIV Cure Research Day was for us to engage community members who are not normally involved in HIV work, to get more involved, to know that they had a voice and they could have ownership over finding a cure for HIV, especially in Black and brown communities that are most impacted by the virus and the epidemic. The HIV Cure Sneaker Ball is a fun, engaging way. We've done many different types of events like fashion shows and things like that. But this Sneaker Ball is really a way for us to get people to come to and celebrate community, come together, learn, engage in different activities that can learn about where they can learn about HIV cure science, and then walk away with knowledge and feel empowered and motivated to be more involved.
And I learned that even that HIV cure is possible is not known to everyone, so it's important to tell my story again and again.